Yeah, this is Point Black. Coming in hard and off the cob. Coming with the flow straight from the barrio. And coming with the heat from the damn street. This is PBN and Point Black National News, the late and the great edition and the ghetto edition as well. Because this is what we must do. And I hope everybody got their spy ears on and all the wiretapping and hacking on the line and everything going on. Because it is what it is. Now today we see where Donald Trump has won a major victory because the victory is well worth the fight anyway. And even the victory that is because of corruption in our government to play the game in the circus that we see. And now we see that Trump has been handing some bad news coming in on politics. Newsweek, Andrew Stanton on 5/14/24 at 11:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As we see New York Appellate Court apparently hands down a defeat to the President of the United States, Donald Trump, while he was in court Tuesday. The court rejects his appeal of a gag order imposed by Judge Juan Merchant, or whatever his name is, Judge Juan Merchant. You know what I'm saying? Come on, seriously, with this gag order garbage. He's the one who's the victim in this matter, so how the hell you have a gag order on someone who's a victim and being victimized by even members of the family member of the judge's family in the case? You know what I'm saying? Where they're making money and so on, and when he said anything about the charges or anything, you tell him to shut up while we ramrod your ass in more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? But we see the court reports he rejected his appeal, Donald Trump's appeal on the gag order imposed by Mr. So-called Juan Daliano. You know what I'm saying? Who is overseeing Trump's hush money trial. Why should he be quiet about something? And like I said, when Judge Joe Brown has mentioned, and we're going to leave it with Joe Brown, he's like he said, you know what I'm saying, he is the victim of blackmail in this case. No harm was done, but he's being blackmailed in all ways. You know what I'm saying? On some hush money bullshit that took place prior, and you're saying he used campaign funds to do so and try to cover it up and so on. Many of the demon Democrats have even done worse covering up than that one, if you want to really dig into the bullshit that they have done even to standing presidents. You know what I'm saying? On the hush money, you know what I'm saying, trial according to the court filings. You know what I'm saying? And that's bullshit in itself. We see Trump is facing trial after Manhattan attorney Alan Ginsberg charged him with the falsifying business records and documents over, documents to cover up a hush money thing. This hush money trial should have been over a long time ago, because like I said, he wasn't even the president at that time. And whether he used campaign funds or not, and if that is illegal, then it should have only been a fine or some bullshit, and this trial should have been over. So we know this was all to tie him up, and this is all they really had to do so in itself. You know what I mean? So we know for well that a lot of the bullshit that has been going on hasn't really been saying, literally enough. Now, even when we look at the situation that's going on in the Gaza Strip, we see a whole lot of ignorancy in this as well. Many people know of what took place as the Arabs and them have done to the African people by all means. You know what I'm saying? So we know full well that what is going on seems to be coming back around in many ways, but we know full well that many of them who are in the strip or or settlers and have come there over time, whether it's the Palestinians or what, and created their own states and so forth on. But a lot of it is, you know, is definitely was orchestrated. You know what I'm saying? Even when you come to America and what is going on in the American system today, everything is orchestrated by these beasts in order to move people around or eliminate or, every other evil shit that they can find to do. So we know full well that what we see going on is not leading to any betterment of our country in any shape or form. You know what I'm saying? In many ways. So we still waiting to see what took place in this situation that will come out with Fannie Wills and what's going on, because the media just holding up the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? We see Trump has promised an immigration crackdown if he's reelected. It needs to be some form of crackdown. Anytime you could find right here in Coram a young man that was deported and came back into the country and was arrested here in Coram, New York for terrorist acts and wanted in his country for terrorist acts. You know what I'm saying? So we know full well, even when we look at many diplomats and different people that came over the border from other countries, including China, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of Chinese people has come over that border. You know what I'm saying? And like they're saying, they don't even know where they're at. So, you know what I'm saying? Even when you look at how in the world, a question we must ask is how you get, 200 Chinese police stations in the United States, unbeknown to anybody, and it only came out during this election, or it came out, a lot of people didn't hear the information on that one, but it came out during this election. Same thing we're talking about when you look at the insurrection, like Stefan said, and I said the same thing, and we're gonna leave it with Stefan because he's the one dropping the report, and Trump, me point black, like when other people really drop the information, not just coming from me only, but he mentioned a good point. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't an insurrection. It may have been, like he said, a riot gone out of control. Well, that was the point of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck the Duck Schumer. That's what they wanted. That's what they orchestrated. They orchestrated it to go out of control. So when it goes out of control and the people, doing all this to the White House, many of those people who probably broke into the White House in the first place or caused the protest or whatever it was to go into a riot shit, the normal people who were supporting Trump and the normal people who went to the protest peacefully and patriotically were driven into a riot due to the fact of infiltration of Nancy Pelosi and all the demon Democrats, probably Soros, and even probably the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the Bill Gates, all of them. You know what I'm saying, was involved in causing that. It was in a sequence within a systematic vibe that gave it away, and especially when it came to the vaccine and many other things, they also orchestrated that because it did not show anything or result or any virus or anything anywhere anyhow. You know what I'm saying? But they made people take something under the pre-notion that there was and created a scenario in order to feed that into reality to push the people into that position. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at even the immigration problem, you know what I'm saying, right now, they have let so many people into this country. Probably every single terrorist this side of Mexico and other countries came through that border. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Muslims, Arabs, whoever. You know what I'm saying? Chinese, all of them came over that border. About a million, so 300 billion, zillion people slipped in. You know what I'm saying? And how they let the Chinese them come in. But you was talking about turning the Haitians back and all kinds of stupid shit like that, and not giving the Haitians asylum seeking. But you opened up the border for asylum seekers out of South America. You know what I'm saying? We see Whoopi Goldberg fan praise the View star for being so real. Now, in more ways than one, she's real in many ways, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes can be quite annoying with her comments to me. If you're not going to be real 100% and present a plan to have this country run like clockwork, I'm not interested in your views. people are in positions of great duress, even in the Gaza Strip. This is also another orchestrated systematic vibe that you see going on. This is why it's not stopping. And this is why Netanyahu they have been given the green light by the United States, crooked ass leader Joe Biden and probably Soros and probably even the Rothschilds and who all is involved in this systematic secret bullshit that goes on to cause these things to happen. And that was orchestrated because we know full well if Hamas really cared about the people, where's Hamas that the so-called fake ass invaders calling themselves Israel, which they are not, you know what I'm saying? They're probably Zionists or Kazakh gypsies or some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's over. They're killing the people and driving into the people's land and destroying hospitals and even going into Rafah and different places and still driving the people out of the land while the settlers of your Zionist bullshit, you know what I'm saying? It's a shame that you went over there surveying the land you drove them off of and surveying the best pieces of land so you could have your little spot and just have the settlers killing the people and all kinds of bullshit and just run up in the house and taking shit like a banshee, a wolf or some garbage ass pig shit in the Gaza Strip. And the United States should be damn ashamed. And in all ways, the people have stood up against this bullshit in full protest and definitely asking for many conditions to be made that they are not funding genocide on any race of people. This should go out for the African people as well. In many countries in Africa, we need to see some straightening up. You know what I'm saying? We need to see some straightening up and we need to see some protests going down, not just for South Africa, but the whole of anywhere the oppression or slavery or any kind of sex trafficking or any bullshit going on in the African continent. You know what I'm saying? We see GOP Senator claims Washington, D.C. has become a war zone. Yes, it has become a war zone. You know what I'm saying? And it's very silly because we're talking about an election and we're talking about electing a president, but they're on complete rival and bullshit and causing riots and everything to create a scenario of an insurrection so they could use the Constitution in order to say the Constitution shows that the insurrection of this and that bars Donald Trump from becoming president in more ways than one. And then when that isn't working, they definitely try to hang him up in court as much as they can, you know what I'm saying? But nobody wants to hear that bullshit. We see Republican Congressman calls Robert F. Kennedy Jr. a mega crazy. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, of course they're going to call him that. It doesn't matter whether he's mega crazy or not because we have a lot of Republicans who are mega fucking Democrats. You know what I'm saying? In Republican clothes. You know what I'm saying? But we see here where ex-Republican Congress calls Robert F. Kennedy a mega crazy Republican who will take votes away from GOP Trump. I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? But we see a former Republican, David Jolly, I think his name is, from Florida, who has served in the House as a Republican, but later left the party, you know what I'm saying, ripped into independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., calling him a mega crazy Republican who could take votes away from the GOP this November. I still think that Robert F. Kennedy should take more. No, I still think that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. could take more from the Republicans, and I think that it's why Donald Trump, Trumpy Bear Baby, attacking him, Jolly, and NSBC political commentator told Holt Johnson. I don't think so. I think Trump can hold his own in anything I see, you know what I'm saying? You know, we see a story coming in, you know what I'm saying? We see an Alabama judge, you know what I'm saying, this report, an Alabama judge, you know what I'm saying, he's saying they're sorry for what this Alabama judge ordered a black man to apologize to a cop for cursing or what? Spend up to 30 days in jail. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you should do that for white people as well, shouldn't you? So it's a one-sided thing, or is it justice in its fullness from what we're seeing? You know what I'm saying? But we see much of what's going on is definitely something that needs to be worked on, and we need to stop. You know what I'm saying? Because this has gotten to be too much of a thing. You know what I'm saying? So now we see here with Charlemagne the God, you know what I'm saying? Called himself Charlemagne. Yeah, he was a tyrant too. You know what I'm saying? Why these black people are naming themselves after tyrants? You know what I mean? But we see Charlemagne calling himself the God, blames the media for division, saying voters can choose crooks, cowards, or the culture, whatever. Charlemagne is a popular host of the Breakfast Club. I wish you don't watch the show because to me it's full of shit. You know what I'm saying? It shows, it bash the conservative and liberals media, uh, I guess it's the atmosphere of it or whatever, for creating a division in America. No, they have, you can blame them all you want for the division. The division ain't coming from just the media. The division coming from you, a follower of the fucking media. People should be making their own choices as to what it is that they want to see in their country, not what the media tell them to think that would, not what the media is telling them to think for the choices that they will make. Because if it was up to the media, then, for many years they've been doing this in the Gaza Strip, and also over there killing all the people as well in Africa, and doing all kinds of crooked shit up in Africa, bringing, practicing new medicine on the African children and all kinds of bullshit across this country. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at the media is not supposed to be telling us what to think. It's supposed to be reporting information that we can't see or don't know or haven't heard of that is something. But you know what I'm saying? It coming out to be, to me, a sorry for situation because the people already know. You know what I'm saying? So the media should have no bearing on the truth of the matter in which we as a people should be looking forward to in the world on a global aspect in itself. You know what I'm saying? So whatever Charlemagne is talking about, that's his ass. You know what I'm saying? Nobody have time for that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Even when we look at even this situation here where you have a news cut coming in saying that Creep Joe Biden has done more than arm the so-called invaders, Zionist motherfuckers stealing names of people and culture, calling themselves is Rael, you know, yeah, Ra for the sun god Ra, I guess, leaked documents, you know what I'm saying? Leaked documents reveal his own officials see him as a accomplice in the Gazan devastating famine. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. 100% his fucking doing. You know what I'm saying? In all aspects, Creep Joe Biden is a part of the orchestration within his time frame of maintaining that actual invasion and killing of the Gazan people and African people as well that were there and have always been there and have a history and even books to show, you know what I'm saying, the records of the people being there many, many hundreds of years before any European or Arab war ever came there. Same thing, the same thing with the Arabs. The Arabs went in there and did the same thing and tried to genocide African people as well. You know what I'm saying? So if they're getting hurt, we cannot just simply sit here and say that it's good for them because of what they did to the African people, but we have to say and say what goes around comes around, and we'll leave it at that. But in actuality, now we must all face the fact of what it is they have been doing to all different races of people all across the planet. This is what we're talking about. And then being able to maintain it 40, 50, 100,000 years, you know, say all the way up to 2024. This is 2024, and we're still faced with the same problems that were going on even back then and doing the same thing. You know how many people lost their lives on Pan Am and hijacking planes and all kinds of stuff was going on? You know, the hot in here, folks. I mean, this has been going on for quite a long time. This isn't something that just started the other day. Sorry for the family, it's kind of hot. You know what I'm saying? But we see the creepy wannabe president, Brokeback Bitch Biden, and his administration have been accused of being accomplice in enabling a famine in Gaza by failing to sufficiently act on repeated warnings from their own experts and aid agencies. Same thing they did when it comes to accusing Donald Trump, or even the same thing they did when people refused to take the shot. When they went to court and tried to fight it, they completely ignored everything. So their whole plan ran right through, systematically set up by them, even down to the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? All the way to Zelensky, crooked, bud-nosed looking, bird-looking, lead-head ass. You know what I'm saying? He even had him in the White House walking with Joe Biden. In the interview with current and former agency for the international development, the U.S., you said, you know what I'm saying, the U.S. USA, U.S. aid, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But they abbreviated by saying USAID. You know what I'm saying? The State Department official aid agency working in Gaza and internal USAID documents reveal that the administration, you know what I'm saying, rejected or ignored plea to use its leverage to pursue its ally, these crooked motherfucking Zionists, in which he supported and kept there and gave them millions of dollars and was supporting passing bills even before he was even a vice president. Even in his younger years and shit, he was doing this with this same situation, building this up. You see what I'm saying? To where you see they feel they have a right to be there as invaders and drive out the people who have been there before them. You know what I'm saying? And the original people as well. This is why you saw all the oppression going on in South Africa and shit. This was all to control African plateau and African countries under these fucking beast bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We must free this away. You know what I'm saying? The receipts, the recipient of billions of dollars of U.S. military support. Listen to that. To allow sufficient humanitarian aid into Gaza to stop the famine taking hold. The famine was orchestrated by these beast Zionists. This is the type of mind frame that they have. And that's something that we're going to have to understand. You know what I'm saying? These people have orchestrated that. That was not something that happened in any form of a naturality in itself. You know what I'm saying? This is something that was literally orchestrated. That's like me taking a bunch of people and going over to, let's say, Bulgaria. You know what I'm saying? And I go over there and I go to Bulgaria and I move into a plot of land in Bulgaria and set up a whole group of the black conscious lions. Now, when we go in there and do that, you know what I'm saying, in Bulgaria, you know what I'm saying, the people say that's not our land, we're not from there, which it is, but you know what I mean historically, but it's not. And we go over there, we invade, and we sit there, we occupy, and we begin to grow, and we begin to bring in settlers that were in probably a war in South Africa that moved to Bulgaria, and we go bigger, and we bigger, and we bigger, and then we also, you know what I'm saying, the people start to get us up because you start doing your evil shit that you usually do. You know what I'm saying? Probably sacrificing and blood-lit people and all kinds of shit and chopping off their heads and all kinds of crazy shit on both sides of the stick when it comes to you guys. You know what I'm saying? And then we over there in Bulgaria, and the people don't want us there, and a war break out. And we get support from the United States, France, Britain, Britain, United Kingdom, the 34 nations in NATO criminal organization, and they all supporting us and giving us weapons and things. You think the Bulgarians going to be able to beat us? You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be able to beat us with that type of might that we're being supported with. And this is what happens to these invaders that Zionists calling themselves an Israelite or whatever the fuck they want to call themselves. Then they're not biblical. Talking about they're mentioned in the Bible and all this different stuff. No, they're not. They wrote themselves into the Bible and rewrote the version, and then went out and spread that out to the people, making the people believe that this is true. It's the same thing like when you look at when they was talking about God, and then all of a sudden they started talking about Jesus more than God. You know what I'm saying? So we know the bullshit in which they have done.